Episode 86, Wake and Rake Podcast. Hey, Willie, how's Cleveland, Ohio treating?
I don't really know yet. I just got here.
Yeah,
I was about a couple hours delayed. It's all right. We'll knock this out at 10 p.m. A little hotel action. Get a little food in me. Good to go.
They got you hooked up in the Ritz-Carlton, which is very classy.
Yeah, back in the show, just not as a player. Still cool though. My room's actually sick. Like I get on my floor. Like, okay, where you're trying to figure out get your bearings. Where's your room? So I get out of the elevator. The gym is like right there by the elevator. I'm like, oh, cool. I'm on the same floor as the gym. That's perfect. I'm the first room. I'm literally like across the hall from the gym. So I have no excuse not to get a little pump in.
So you gym when you're on the road?
I try. I try to.
What?
I gotta do something just to try to keep a normal routine. It's so easy to just because every night it's get back from the game. Hey, all right, meet us in the lobby. Let's grab a drink. And it's just drinks, food. And I'm like, gotta work on that. Dad bod. Actually, I'm gonna call it a father figure. How about that?
So your daily routine, you wake up, you gym, you go to the game, you go out for drinks after with the crew?
It's normally in the hotel.
Yeah.
We're not clubbing with Dave O'Brien, Hey, Alex, Cora, you busy tonight? Let's go fist bump, No. It's just I don't know. Everybody goes down and continues to talk about baseball, which I'm down with that. It's just kind of you have team building on the media side too. So I'm not with these. I'm with these guys half the year. So it's good to I haven't seen you in a couple of weeks. Actually, I was just with them in Phoenix and LA, so it hadn't been that long. But you basically just go catch up away from the field where you're not all buttoned up and doing your job, and just catch up. But no, I get up. I mean, I don't sleep in. I have kids, so if I can sleep till 8, I'm happy. Get breakfast, chill for a little bit, work out, get some work done. I love sitting in a quiet hotel room and getting my game prep done. Heaven on earth.
Do you use makeup?
Not when I do this. When I'm in the booth, I'm not really on camera much. I'm on just for the open. Mm-hmm. So I'll do the open. I'm on for 15, 20 seconds, and then they're throwing graphics up, and I'm talking over it anyways. So I'm really not on camera. When I do studio, I wear makeup just because I'm bright lights in my face, HD cameras, 4K resolution. You can see everything on my face, and it's more just because you're shiny. I'm not putting it on to look different. I just don't want to be shiny, so I just kind of use the powder stuff. So it dulls you out. They ask you to do it if you don't. So.
Do you think maybe they're trying to send you a message that they have you on pre and
absolutely.
post more than they do on the broadcast?
You need help.
Or they're trying to put you on the broadcast more than they are on the pre and post lately? They're transitioning you. Maybe they're
I like where you're going with this, but no. I actually have way more pre and post than I do in the booth. Yeah. So good try. What are we talking about today, man?
We could just talk about your beauty stuff all day. We could do power rankings.
That's the gist of it.
Will Middlebrooks' favorite beauty products brought to you by Ulta.
Brought to you by Ulta. Nice. Yeah. Favorite deodorant, Degree spray.
That's my least favorite store when I go shopping with my wife is Ulta.
I don't know if I've ever been inside one.
It sucks. It's outrageously priced. And there is no boyfriend.
Everything's outrageously priced because you're in California.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's true.
All right. Let's talk about baseball.
But first, BetOnline is your number one source for all your championship finals, info, stats, news, and scores. Get the latest odds and lines and the latest matchup reports for this year's NBA and Stanley Cup final. BetOnline is your sports intel headquarters this season as we have you covered for all your insider sports wagering needs from basketball and hockey to MLB, UFC, and boxing. The fastest and easiest way to get your betting info, including live betting options and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your home. Get into the action today. Head to the website or use your mobile device to join and be sure to use our promo code BELIEVE to receive your 50% bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. What do we have today?
That read's getting longer every time we do a podcast.
I'm out of breath. Hold on. Let me actually take a drink of water because I'm a little.
You hold that thought. I got to turn the TV off anyways because it's loud.
Cinemax?
Not yet. All right.
I hope you know Jenny asks me what you do on the road every time. She wants to know what you're watching. She wants to know where you're going. She keeps tabs on you.
She has my number. We talk.
She knows you're not honest.
That's not true. That's how rumors get started, man.
Power rankings. What are we doing today, Brooksy? Let the people know. What are we doing?
We are going to do the top closers in the game.
Yeah, which is a lot harder than it sounds, people.
Yeah, I brought it up. I was like, let's do closers, thinking, all right, I got to prep for the Cleveland series. I'm going to be busy. We'll knock this out easy. We got into it, and we're making one list. So we're not doing separate lists. We're having conversation, deciding where these guys go in this top 10, who makes it, who misses it. It was way harder than I thought. We had a list, and then we were like, oh wait, no, like he's got to be in. He can't be in. It's just like back and forth for a couple hours trying to figure it out. It was tough.
There's a lot of guys having really, really good years, and it's early. It's June, so you see an ERAs that are hovering around 1. You can't have a guy with an ERA of 1.2 not on the list. And then it's like, but
which we did, which we had him off the list.
But then it's like, but this guy has 500 career saves. How do we leave him off? It's tough. Why we call it a power ranking, I guess. We'll start.
You want to start?
Start from 10. We'll work our way up to number 1.
We'll throw in the honorable mentions at the end. Or do you want to start with those?
What do you think teases the audience more?
I'm throwing in an honorable mention to start off.
Yeah.
And then you can do Dan. This one hurts me. But I originally had Kenley Jansen in our top 10. All-time, 7th best closer of all time on the all-time close list?
Probably. I don't have
405 at this point. All-time great human being too, but that we'll have to do another power ranking for that.
He's 7th behind Wagner, 403.
Yeah. And Kimbrel's right behind him.
Yeah.
So I originally had him at like 10, right? Like towards the end of it.
Yeah.
And then the more we got to talking, the ERA is up in the 3s or 4s right now. He had 2 bad outings, really. He had 2 outings that gave up some runs. He was at like a 0.8 ERA when he got his 400 save in Atlanta, and then kind of lost it. Started throwing balls, started walking guys, giving up hits, lost the velocity, and then here as of late, he's looking better. He threw 2 in both games of a doubleheader yesterday. In the second game, got hit around a little bit, which I just thought it was kind of dumb to throw him 2 games in a row in a doubleheader at this point. But they're short. Their bullpen was short, so if he said he's good, if they can save another arm for a doubleheader in a game the next day, go for it. But he gave up some runs there too. So he's had some clunkers, and I hate to leave him out of the top 10 because 7th all time. But right now, in the game of baseball, I feel like we have to leave Kenley Jansen off the top 10.
We also had to leave off Alex Lang, who's been nails for the Detroit Tigers in the back
really
of that bullpen. Dude's nasty. The turtleneck and all. Alex Presley, World Series champ. Been a really solid closer for a long time now with Houston. Your former teammate, too, by the way, Ryan Presley.
Yeah, minor leagues.
Paul Sewald for Seattle has been good the last couple of years. We had to leave off guys like Liam Hendricks, too, just because he's not in the closing role. He's coming back from Hodgkin's lymphoma, which is arguably the best story in baseball. But unfortunately, at this time, he's not on our list. Let's start with number 10, Devin Williams of the Milwaukee Brewers. And this one's a bit convoluted, the argument.
We originally had him off the list.
And why?
Oh, no, I did. I had him off the list. You talked me into it. And I agreed.
1 earned run this year.
That's what that's what did it for me. When you said that, I was like, okay.
Now he only has 10 saves. His opportunities haven't been there. And we both know saves are important as a closer. That's their role, right?
It's your job.
He has 1 earned run this year across 19 2/3 innings pitched. He's faced 76 hitters this year. Of those 76, 26 have struck out, 10 have walked, 8 have gotten a base hit, and he's given up 1 run.
I feel like he's a guy you can just kind of go up there and not swing, and he'll walk you.
Because his changeup has so much movement. That's a good point, actually. There is such a thing as being too nasty.
Exactly.
We talked about that.
It's a thing. It's
a thing. Where you can't.
So Edwin Diaz used to be that guy. Edwin Diaz used to be too nasty where he would try to throw his two-seamer just on the corner, and it would constantly run off, and his slider would start on and break off because it was so good, and it's 99, so he just couldn't control it. So guys just started waiting him out. Adrian Beltre told me that. He was like, dude, don't swing. He's not going to throw a strike. And he told me, Adrian Beltre said, if he figures it out, he's going to be one of the best closers in the game. Sure enough, he knew what he was talking about. Imagine that. Anyways, yeah. So same thing with Devin Williams. There's the opposite side of it too, where some guys throw too many strikes, and you can just go up there and be ultra aggressive. But Devin Williams preys off of aggressiveness. So I feel like you just go up there and just kind of see pitches.
What I want to know is his splits. See, in 2023, right-handers against Devin Williams, they're batting 108. And lefties, he's just as dominant. Lefties are batting 133 against Devin Williams this year. The only guy to even get a run off Devin Williams, he gave up a solo bomb to Tyro Estrada. And
isn't like a 7-2 game or 7 something?
They ended up winning the game 7-3. Like, it was pretty much meaningless. Estrada's a good player too. So Estrada's the only one that's been able to kind of put Devin Williams on his list. He's been damn near unhittable, man. We can talk about how he only has 10 saves.
Yeah.
You can't ignore 0.46 ERA, man. That's unbelievable.
All right, let's go to number 9. Joan Duran. This guy is nasty. He throws a million. He's averaging 102 on his fastball. He only has 8 saves, but if you watch their games, the Twins have kind of started to use him in high leverage situations throughout the game. So sometimes in the 7th inning, if there's the 1, 2, 3 in the lineup's coming up and it's a tight game, they're using them. It's almost like postseason, right? They're bringing him into those big situations. So he only has 8 saves. Opponents are hitting just 143 off him. He has the splinker. Don't forget about the splinker, Danny. Throws anywhere from 95 to 101. Ridiculous.
That's not fair.
It's essentially it's a two-seamer. I know we want to call it a splitter, splinker, split. It's a two-seamer. But regardless, it's different than the 104 four-seamer you're seeing. It's got some sink to it. This guy, we don't have to go as deep as we went on Devin Williams because we're not going to have enough time. But Duran is a guy that comes in this whole list is basically guys, they come in the game, you're sitting down and watching. And this guy's bringing the noise. So I think every year we're going to start seeing his role be more and more close situations. Like right now where the Twins are at, because they have Jorge Lopez, who is good in that role. And maybe mentally Duran can handle not being a closer. Maybe Lopez needs that. There's guys in the bullpen that need a certain role to perform a certain way, or closers come in and not save situations and they don't throw well. It's kind of like that. So maybe that's why Lopez has been seeing some close opportunities as well. But Duran, filthy, got to get him on this list. Please
tell me you saw what Jorge Lopez did in the dugout last weekend, I believe it was, with the Powerade and the water.
The water? Yeah.
He mixed up. So for those that don't know, Lopez had a bit of a rough outing. He went into the dugout. There's a Powerade cooler and there's a water cooler. He tried pouring water on his hair to cool himself down. As it turns out, it was Powerade. So he put blue Powerade in his...
And he has like blonde highlighted hair. So it's like turning blue. Yeah.
The best part about it was he was mad at himself. So he grabbed a cup of water, poured that on his head, and then he punched the Powerade container.
With his left hand, though.
It was with his left hand. You're right.
So he was smart at least.
Veteran move. Number 8, Josh Hader for the San Diego Padres. Say what you want about the team, but he's been arguably the most dominant closer in baseball since 2019. How about 133 saves? That's second most in all of baseball. He has 13 saves this year, which ranks sixth in baseball. And opponents are hitting 118 against Hader. That's third best in baseball.
Hey, don't forget, this is a guy, when he was in Milwaukee, when he got traded, we're like, did he lose it?
Mm-hmm.
Did he lose his
and then he found it in the
lose
postseason.
his stuff, and he's back. So
Yeah, he found it in the postseason.
They haven't put any situations to close.
Yeah, that's a good point. Do the Padres make playoffs? We were talking about that a little bit today.
I told you I think both the Padres and the Phillies missed the playoffs. And
You said
no, they're both going to make it.
You love chaos.
I don't love chaos, but as an analyst, it gives me something to talk about other than just like normal stuff. So it's not that I love chaos. I love storylines that aren't normal. And two teams that should make the playoffs. One team that was in the World Series last year with basically the same team. They got their stud back. Still not going to make it. It's fun.
2 NLCS teams last year. Padres.
Yeah, good point. That's right. Yeah.
Who do you got at number 7?
I bet you couldn't have guessed this guy. If I could ask 100 people, give me just 10 closers, they would not name this guy on the list. And we talked about his brother, Edwin, earlier. Alexis Diaz. Remember seeing him in the WBC? Remember him crying after his brother blew his patella tendon out on the field celebrating a win? He's filthy. And he's one of those guys, too. They said, you know what? He's got the stuff, but he can't throw strikes. He gets behind hitters. He's 2-0-3-1. It doesn't matter. You're in the big leagues, 2-0-3-1. They're going to hit your fastball. Doesn't matter. Well, he's figured it out. All right. 1.3 F4. That's just second behind Cano of the Orioles, who has got probably the best changeup in the game outside of Airbender himself, Devin Williams. But Diaz has 13 saves. The Reds, I saw him play against the Red Sox recently. They're actually a pretty good ball club. They're third in their division right now. Diaz has good stuff. 16.5 K per 9, which is third. 120 opponent batting average. He has 100% save percentage. He's 13 for 13, so he hasn't blown a save.
That's good. That
means a lot, too. So this young kid, keep your eyes on him. But right now, he's in our top 10.
I mean, nobody has a higher F4 on our list than Diaz.
No.
The only guy.
Cano's been a setup guy for Batista.
Right. Yeah, it's pretty impressive. Random little tidbit here. So I tried looking up Alexis Diaz here on Baseball Reference, and I accidentally clicked on Aledmys Diaz for the Oakland A's.
Yeah.
Would you believe me if I told you that Aledmys Diaz was an all-star?
What?
He was an all-star. Aledmys Diaz.
Yeah.
The utility guy for the Oakland. He was an all-star in 2016.
Yeah.
That doesn't shock you?
No. I was playing then, so I remember him.
17 homers. He hit 300. This was his rookie year, by the way, too. And then he became like a backup.
That was with St. Louis, right?
Yeah, and then he became like a backup utility guy in Toronto.
I played against him that year. He was good.
That stunned me.
The league adapts, though. And it's like if you don't adapt back.
There's a laundry list of guys that you just completely forget ever made, like Kosuke Fukudome for the Chicago Cubs.
Brock Holt
was an all-star?
Yeah. I think in like 2016.
For Boston?
Yeah. He hit for the cycle in a playoff game.
Damn.
Yeah. Again, at Yankee Stadium, hit for the cycle in a playoff game.
Random former all-star sounds like a pod waiting to happen.
Yes.
That could be fun.
Yeah. You got it.
Number 6. This is one of my favorites, man. David Bednar. And I love this name on the list because when Pittsburgh came to Boston, you told me Pittsburgh's arms are pretty good, Danny. Like, I know that everybody's freaking out that
their bullpen was coming in with the noise. Like, they're warming up and you're like, what? Like, my studio was in right center field and I'm here in the mid. Jesus Christ. Look down. Old Betty popping that thing.
How about a 30 strikeout, 1 walk ratio?
That's ridiculous.
0 strikeout per walk.
Okay, earlier we were talking about that, and I was going through the list, and I about spit water everywhere because I was looking at the list, and it's like 4.3, 2.9, 3.4 point something. Oh, cool, a 5. That's all. 30. What? It looks like a typo. Will you have 1 walk?
1 walk. Guys that throw 98 consistently don't walk 1. He's faced 91 batters this year. 20 have reached base. He struck out 30 of them, and he has 1 walk.
That's how good his stuff is, too, because guys know that, and they're going up there hacking.
That is unbelievable to have
His
that
stuff,
much control.
the swing and miss he must get in the zone and weak contact. Like, I mean, swing and miss. I mean, he's striking guys out. You get swing and miss in the zone. I wonder what his spin rates are. Like, that's something I want to look at. Like, does he have like that like what's his vertical drop on his fastball? Is it like 3 or 4? You know,
I'll,
like
I'll
barely
get
comes
back to you on
down.
that. I'll get back to you
Yeah,
on that.
I'm curious because it must be one of those fastballs that just like doesn't come down. If you only have like 4 inches of vertical drop, that's like basically feels like a rise ball. So maybe that's what it is.
How about a 40.1 out of zone swing percentage? That is the best in all of baseball.
O swing?
Yeah.
Nice.
So 40% of the pitches he's throwing out of the zone, hitters are swinging.
I can't think O swing without thinking O face.
5.
Camilo Doval.
Oh, you nailed it. Good job.
Ever heard of him? Danny?
I heard. I live in Northern California. We love.
That's why I said that, because you're a Giants guy.
All the boys.
I like this guy. He throws nothing straight. 98 on the sinker, 100 mile-per-hour cutter, 14 saves. So the saves are actually getting up there. I think that's tied for third in all of baseball. But literally, he's a guy who throws basically 100 with both pitches, and they do separate things. So you got to go up there and just pray to God. And he throws strikes too. So he's real whippy. He's got that awkward delivery where you're just going to be uncomfortable as a hitter, especially a righty, the way he just kind of whips it out here. I'll let you talk about this. In order, I had to talk about him, but I know you're like chomping at the bit to talk about him because he's a Giant.
I have a question for you. Okay. One guy that kind of comes to mind would be Felix Hernandez. When you have a pitcher coming at you, righty on righty, and you have one ball is either going to go towards you or it's going to go away from you, do you guess?
No, you just try to pick up spin as best as possible. And plus, you have like all this research where you're like, okay, certain counts, like he throws his cutter 2-0, like 3-1, like hitters counts, or he's 80% cutter, or like, so I'll sit pitches based off of numbers, especially at bats against me in the past. But if I haven't faced him before, I'm going to go off the numbers of what he likes to do, because these guys have tendencies. They have what's comfortable to them. So if it's like you don't want to get like in the nitty gritty of like 1-1, 2-1, but like 0-0, 2-0, 3-1, like those are counts where you can be aggressive and you can sit certain pitches. And if it's those counts and you get beat, it's one strike. So it's like, man, I'm good. I'm chilling still. So
you have that much thinking going on. You have that many hamsters on the wheel. When it's a 2-0 count and you're facing a reliever, you're actually thinking, okay, scattering.
Well, that's where like the game prep comes in, like every day. Like we don't just go to the field, hit, eat food, and play games. Like you have meetings, you sit down, you have your own scouting reports. It's on you as a professional too to go in and look at those. They don't like force feed it down your throat. They give you the information, and if you want it, great. If not, because some guys don't like it. I did. If I'm facing a guy filthy, like nasty, like that, I want an advantage. Like I want to have certain things to sit on. Now, once I get to 2 strikes, I'm just battling and just trying to like live against guys like that.
Okay, let me ask you this, and then we can move on. Off the top of your head, how many of your teammates were guess hitters, and how many were reaction hitters?
Most of them were reaction hitters. Okay. I think the biggest name guess hitter I played with, Adrian Gonzalez. But he was really good at it because he was really smart and he did his homework, so he guessed right a lot. He was such a smart hitter that he was able to guess, but he was just right a lot. He studied, he watched film. He was like a encyclopedia in his head. Like he knew everything from all his at-bats against guys. Like he probably wouldn't even have to go watch video. He would watch video, but he could just tell you exactly how this guy pitched him the last time. It was pretty impressive.
He also had like the natural ability to fight off anything if he did guessing.
Right. His ability to hit the ball to left field, to go opposite field, is what like really made him really good. He was like one of the first guys that I remember like really having oppo pop. Yeah. You know, where that was like his thing. So that helps him too, because he lets the ball get deep so you can be beat a little bit and be fine. But I remember him being a guest hitter. I played with him my rookie year.
Camilo Doval at number 5. Number 4, How about a surprise appearance by Carlos Estevez? Nobody knew who this guy was because he spent mostly his entire career in Colorado.
Right.
Turns out Coors Field is not pitcher friendly, Brooksy. I know that really surprises you.
It's not even hitter friendly this year for the home team.
They've actually been one of the better home teams over the past 5 years, though, which is
I was just shitting on them for no reason. I shouldn't have done that.
14 saves. Fourth in baseball, 96.9 average fastball velocity for Estevez, a 152 opponent batting average versus right-handed hitters. He's exactly who the Angels needed.
I saw him in person in LA. Dude, the ball jumps out of his hand. It's like electric fastball.
He's been a good pitcher for a few years. He really has. He wasn't really closing consistently with Colorado, but that's a lot of the reason was because he had an ERA up over 4 nearly every year because it's Coors Field. I think what Perry Minasian, that Los Angeles Angels front office, they looked at his stuff and they realized this is going to play at Angel Stadium in Anaheim. And sure enough, it is. 14 saves. For a bullpen that has struggled mostly this season, has really been their Achilles heel. He's been a staple in the back end of their bullpen for him. They've needed every single out that he has collected this year. He's been an absolute X factor for the Angels this year. So we have him at number 4.
Yeah, he's really good. Number 3, I have Jordan Romano. Yeah. People don't. This is another guy that kind of slips under the radar, I feel like. But he's been really good. I mean, even if you want to go back the last couple seasons, 2021, he has 74 saves. I know we're just talking about this year, but just kind of put in perspective how good he's been. Since 2021, he's got 74 saves. That's third behind Emmanuel Clase and Liam Hendricks, which, by the way, bravo, Liam Hendricks. You're back, beat cancer. Fucking awesome. Yeah, really cool seeing him come in. And results didn't even matter. He was just in. He was so fired up, you could just tell he was bubbling with intensity. It was crazy.
See his wife?
Oh my God.
Arguing with the umpire?
I remember facing Liam Hendricks when he was with the Twins, New Britain. I mean, I faced him all through the minor leagues, but I remember New Britain. It was AA that year. He was a starter.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
He was a starter, and he was 91, 92, cutter, sinker, slider. I faced him in the Futures game and got a hit off him.
Boy.
Yeah, in Arizona. Yeah, that's my memories of him. But good dude. Good dude. Great story. But Jordan Romano, 15 saves. Let's get back to our list. Jordan Romano's got 15 saves, which is second in baseball. He plays for a team that is very talented and should have a lot of opportunities for saves with that lineup they have in Toronto. But the tough part is he's got to play a lot of games against the AL East, and that is a gauntlet bloodbath of a division. So, but he's been really good for a few years. Second in baseball in saves. So right now he's second on our list, or third on our list. Excuse me.
With that ballpark too, I think it makes his numbers even that much more impressive.
That's a good point because that's a launching pad, and they brought the fences in a little bit.
Yeah. Number 2, I'm excited for this one. How about Felix Bautista for your Baltimore Oaks? 15 saves. That's tied for second in baseball. A 1.1 F4. That's fourth in baseball. Let me get your eyes and ears here, people. How about an 18.32 strikeout per 9?
Jesus.
18 hitters he's striking out per inning. That's outrageous. 57 strikeouts in 28 innings pitched. What is the single game strikeout? The major league records. It's 20 strikeouts, right? Scherzer did it. Kerry Wood did it, and Clemens did it. In a single game, 20 strikeouts, right?
Yeah.
And obviously that's a starting pitcher. A little bit different here. We're talking relievers. But
right.
Bautista's damn near averaging.
Those guys also did it for 9 innings.
I know.
But I hear you.
Hear me out.
Put it in perspective. Yeah.
He's basically averaging that. I agree with you. That's, it's more impressive for a starter. But regardless, 18 strikeouts, that's outrageous for a Baltimore team that is giving him a lot of opportunities to save ball games right now, too.
It's a good team. That's a really good team. And you got a hell of a setup guy in Cano.
I was gonna ask you, just off the top of your head, not to put you on the spot here, but Cano and Bautista, are they the best 1-2 bullpen punch in baseball?
Who's the setup guy in Cleveland? I don't even know. Karinchak.
Who's been a little bit of a coin flip this year.
Dang. I mean, I think right now, they got to be the best.
Rogers and Doval in San Francisco is pretty good too, but they don't always
pretty good,
go.
but they're not better than Batista and Cano.
No.
Jeez.
Who's the Red Sox setup guy with Kenley? Or is it more? Who?
Chris Martin.
I think it's got to be.
I think when Karinchak's on like a hot streak, like they rival it. Like when he's going psycho out there. Hope I don't get to see that in person. Actually,
who's the Mariners setup guy? I'm drawing a blank on his name. He might be injured right now. Actually.
Oh, I don't know.
Slider, nasty. I got Andres Munoz. Munoz.
Oh yeah, he closed them last year.
Munoz and Seawald are pretty good, but
Munoz was their closer last year.
At times.
Okay.
At times. They're kind of
him closing some games. And he throws 100.
But I think it's got to be a Batista and Cano just based off the numbers. They're the best 1-2 punch.
Too. And we look at the F4, like it's up there, especially with Cano, obviously.
For sure. And who's our number one closer in Major League Baseball?
Emmanuel Clase. I mean, 19 saves. Next closest is Jordan Romano with 15. Now, Clase's thrown in 30 games already. He does have 5 blown saves, so that hurts him a little bit, but we could not put him number one considering the stuff and the amount of saves he has right now. It's another guy, if you want to rewind to like 2021. Since 2021, he has a 1.63 ERA, which I think is absolutely ridiculous. All right, that whole pitching staff's good over there. So it's kind of one of those things, they all kind of feed off of each other because their offense doesn't do much. And I feel like they're like, all right, boys, just score one, we'll win. So he's filthy, man. He's throwing 100-mile-per-hour cutters up there. I think his velo's gone down a little bit. I think what you said he was averaging like 98 on it now.
98. The only guy ahead of him is Doval with the cutter wise. The only fast.
He hits 100 with this cutter, 100.1. Yeah. So he's filthy, man. It's in Class A too. It's like it's big. It's like almost sliderish at times, and you're like, oh, that's a slider. And you're like 99. What do you mean?
I almost feel like. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm good.
I almost feel like we owe it to him to put him at number one because for years he was under the radar for the most part, right? And then now he's accumulated all these numbers now, and you could make the argument for Batista at 1, Doval at 1. A lot of these guys, you could make your own arguments, but because of what Clase has been able to do over the past couple of years and what he's still doing, he's still leading
body
the
work.
saves. Yeah, body.
And I mean, he's really continuing to like pull away. It's like he's 19 saves already.
And that 1.63 ERA, by the way, since what was it, 2021, I think it was.
Yeah.
That's the lowest in all of Major League Baseball with a minimum of 50 appearances. Nobody is allowed fewer earned runs than
in this era where home runs get you, like guys are launching. It's easy to have a higher ERA. Like pitchers are striking out more people, but their ERAs are higher because of the home run.
Yeah.
That's tough. Being under a 2 is tough, and he's basically a 1.5. Mm-hmm. Silly. So I hope I don't have to see him over the next 3 days, but I have a feeling I will.
You excited for the series? Cleveland, Boston.
Yeah. Shane Bieber tomorrow.
An important one.
And Paxton tomorrow.
Paxton looked all right, velocity-wise.
Paxton's throwing harder than he's ever thrown. He's averaging 96 on his fastball. He'll mix in some 99s.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good. The offense got to get going.
Cleveland's offense has been pretty atrocious this year, too.
Bottom of the barrel, and like they hit for – like they get on base, they run well, they hit singles, just no power, no slugging. They only have 35 homers as a team right now. Nobody has more than 8 homers. I think Naylor has 8.
Yeah.
So they're not going to hurt you. You just have to score 4 runs, five runs off them, and you'll win.
I mean, Jose Ramirez has a 768 OPS, which for his standards, pretty low.
It's low. I mean, they're only averaging, I think, like 3.5 runs a game.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. 29th in baseball.
They have 3 hitters, by the way. Feel free to. Hey, I'm gonna start charging you at some point for these stats, but they have 3 guys in Major League Baseball in the bottom 5 in hard hit percentage. It's Stephen Kwan, Ahmed Rosario, and Miles Straw.
Rosario has really regressed.
Mm-hmm.
Quan is just, he's still a good hitter. He just like swings a wet New York Times up there, right? He's just like duck farting balls and finding green, getting on base, stealing bags. He's still a good player. But Rosario's really regressed. Who was the third one?
Rosario, Quan, and Miles Straw.
Miles Straw. Well, he's out there to play defense too. So
before I let you go, does Luis Arraez have a chance to hit 400 this year? He's at 399, and it's June 5th.
How many at-bats does he have?
I mean, he's played damn near he's played 50 games this year. 55 to be exact.
I didn't realize he was 60. I honestly didn't even realize he was still hitting that high.
He hasn't struck out twice in a game. He's the only player in baseball who has not struck out.
Last time I saw him, he was at 392. He's at 399.
That's what Major League Baseball just shared out.
What did he do today?
I don't know.
I'm looking it up because I was pretty sure he was at 392 yesterday. I'm looking. You have to cut out the dead time.
So Major League Baseball shared this out. I think they had a typo. It says
he had three hits today.
Oh, he had 3 hits, so that probably brought his average up to 399.
He was 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs, 399 now. Yeah, his OPS is 945.
Jeez. Do you think he has a chance to hit 400?
Yeah, he's got a chance. I don't think he will.
Yeah,
dude, if you hit 400 in today's game with pitching how it is, I mean, you hit 400 in high school, it's good. But I'm looking at his.
Dude, he's only swung and missed this year a total of like 13 times.
Without looking, how many stolen bases do you think he has?
Arraez?
Yeah.
Zero.
1. I thought you were going to say more.
He's not a speedster. He's just a contact guy.
He has 9 stolen bases in his career.
Yeah, he's not fast. He hasn't made an error defensively.
15 career homers, no errors, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. So over his last 30 games, he's hitting 371. We were like, oh, he cooled off, right? Nah. Last 15 games, he's hitting 429. Last 7 games, he's hitting 556. Because I remember looking and I was like, oh, like he's hitting like 380, 370 something. Last 7 games, he's hitting 556, dude. He is 15 for 27 his last 7 games. That's ridiculous.
My Miami Marlins, baby. My fighting fish.
You couldn't do that on MLB The Show if you wanted to.
No. Dude, the show's tough, dude. Have you played the show lately?
I don't play it, man. I got kids. I don't have time for that shit.
All right. So you're above everyone. I get it.
Above? No, I feel like I'm below. You get to do all the fun shit.
Enjoy your time in Cleveland. All right. You're going to be on the broadcast.
No one ever.
All 3 games you're on the broadcast, right?
Yeah, I'll be there.
Okay. All right. I will be tuning in. Check into Nesson. Watch Will Middlebrooks on the Nesson Red Sox baseball broadcast. We'll be back here. We'll be talking to y'all soon. Who knows what we'll be talking about? Maybe we'll be talking about Luis Arraez hitting 450 by the end of this week.
Jesus. Maybe.
Don't be surprised. All right, people. Have a good rest of your week. We'll talk soon. Peace.